So, another substitution problem where we've got some negatives to be careful about. So we write down everything from the get-go. So I will go ahead and share me writing down everything. So negative y plus negative z. I'm going to go ahead and put the negative y in parentheses because we're used to just putting negatives in parentheses. Where y is 1.46 and z we can't see. Alright, so we carefully substitute both of these in. Now remember, the negatives that are in the problem to begin with are going to stay there. So even though y is positive to start and z is positive to start, when we substitute the values in, they're going to become negative because the negatives that were in the problem. So now that we're already, like, we've done a few of these problems this morning, I'm not going to change colors a bunch of times. 1.46 goes in for y, but the negative in front of it stays there. So it becomes negative 1.46. Then we had plus negative z, so my 3.82 is going to come in for the z, but it's going to become negative because the negative that was already there. Then plus 7.99 was always there. We now think what? We've got negatives and positives. What's the thought in our head? Good guy, bad guy, right? Good guy, bad guy. Bad guy, and good guy. So our bad guys are going to team up. So, off to the side. I'm not very good at this in my head. Now here's the trick. Since it was 1.46 and 3.82 and they both had 2 decimal places, for a minute we can ignore the decimal places. It doesn't really make a difference as long as we stack and do the addition correctly. So now we can bring it back in, 5.28. We've got a battle brewing. Negative 5.28 plus a positive 7.99. Who is going to win that battle?
The good guys.
The good guys. Good to hear. So now, to figure out with these decimal problems, again, we like that we have 2 decimal places in both. If we didn't have matching decimal places, we would need to add zeros onto the end to get a matching amount of decimal places. But because we have, tenths and hundredths in both, like we said, to figure out who wins, we can ignore the decimal for a minute. If you want to work with the decimal, you can put it in. It doesn't really make much of a difference. But we're subtracting, right? Because we're saying who wins and by how much. Positive is going to win. By how much is why we do the subtraction. 9 minus 8 is 1. 9 minus 2 is 7. If we're bringing the decimal, we drop it down with us. 7 minus 5 is 2. Yeah, good work. You're good. I do that all the time, man. 2.71. If you want to put an extra little positive out front to remind yourself that the good guys won, we can. We don't need it, but we can always assume that there is addition in front of things. If it doesn't say negative, then it is positive. And with that, I'm wondering if we want to call it, because you guys have creative start in like 15. We could do one more problem if you guys want, but I want to make sure you get a break before creative start. Do you guys want to do one more, or are you feeling all right?